in the NFL Draft, rounds 2 and 3 on Friday evening. And for the second consecutive night, the Cincinnati Bengals started the festivities. T. Higgins continuing a theme, playing for the Bengals, a former Clemson receiver going to the team he says he rooted for as a kid. DeAndre Swift going to the Detroit Lions. Out of Georgia, versatile back that some believe could be a star. Two-time Doak Walker Award winner Jonathan Taylor of Wisconsin celebrating when the Indianapolis Colts made their selection. And the lone quarterback selected was Jalen Hurts by the Eagles. We'll hear some reaction to Philadelphia's choice to back up Carson Wentz. And meanwhile, last night, the wait continued for Jacob Eason of Washington and Jake Fromm of Georgia. Day 3 coming when they presume that they will hear their name called. Inside an hour until the final day of the NFL Draft, rounds 4 through 7 on ESPN and ABC. College Game Day giving you the college feel from the NFL Draft.
College Game Day is built by the Home Depot, proud sponsor of college football's premier pregame show.
Day 3 of the NFL Draft. Certainly there's been some elation, some disappointment by those who have been drafted, but this is a very different time in our country. And here on our campus in Bristol, where I'm hosting this College Game Day edition from, we certainly thank you for the frontline heroes and all of those who are helping in the battle against COVID-19. If you can help, I urge you to log on to NFL.com/relief. Reese Davis from here in Bristol and my College Game Day teammates from their homes across the country. Kirk Herbstreit joining us, David Pollack and Desmond Howard as well. Guys, storylines from the first couple of days of the NFL Draft look like this. First 2 days, 4 quarterbacks went off the board quickly. Joe Burrow made it 3 straight Heisman winners and transfer quarterbacks to go number 1. Tua went to the Dolphins. Justin Herbert went to the Chargers. And in a bit of surprise, Jordan Love, Packers traded up and got him. The SEC has had 40 guys selected through the first 3 rounds. That's the most by a single conference in any draft through 4 rounds. Chances pretty good that the record's going to get broken quickly on Saturday. Jake Fromm of Georgia, Jacob Eason of Washington, as we showed you right off the top. I'm sure disappointed, but still their future's in front of them. An opportunity coming on day 3 of the draft. We all hope. There was one quarterback taken in the day 2 of the draft. It was Jalen Hurts of Oklahoma. Eagles GM Howie Roseman on the thinking behind that pick.
We've shown how we feel about Carson by our actions. We showed it by the amount of picks we put into him, and we showed it by the contract extension. This is a guy to lead us to our next Super Bowl championship. But for better or worse, we are quarterback developers. When we make these kind of decisions, we always go to our principles and who we are and what we believe in. And right or wrong, this is who we are.
So it was a little bit of a surprise given Carson Wentz's youth. Jalen Hurts is a guy who, at least physically, Kirk, you could make comparisons to Taysom Hill of the Saints, who was a quarterback at BYU and has done a little bit of everything. What did you think of the pick and Jalen's landing spot?
I think Jordan Love pick was much more surprising just because you have Aaron Rodgers that's aging. With Carson Wentz, he just signed a new contract. There's not going to be any controversy over who's the quarterback. I think the important thing to focus on are the traits of what the Eagles are picking up. And again, let's not forget in 2020 where we are at that position. And even though the Eagles are established with Carson Wentz, I think the Eagles felt it was worth taking a risk, Des, to bring in a quarterback who has incredible leadership, incredible toughness, the dual threat, which is what these new quarterbacks, as we're seeing, have a lot of success. They seem to have that skill set. And they brought him in to maybe, for a while, be a wrinkle, be that Taysom Hill, and eventually maybe set him up to take over down the road. But right now, he's an extra tool to what Doug Peterson and what the Eagles really want to try to establish right now in 2020.
You know, guys, as much as players would like to go as high as they possibly could or can in the draft, it's very important to go to the team that's the right fit. And I think this is an excellent situation for Jalen Hurts. He can sit behind Carson Wentz, but he's going to play. So he's not just sitting there like Jordan Love, who has to sit behind Aaron Rodgers and is not going to play. Because of his skill set, because he can do so many things, Jalen Hurts, he's going to get on the field. He's going to see the field his first season, his rookie season. Doug Peterson is a brilliant offensive-minded coach. I played with him in Green Bay. He's going to have special packages for Jalen Hurts every week just to stress the defense. So I know it's a second-round pick. He went in the second day, but this is a perfect opportunity for Jalen Hurts to get his feet wet in the NFL and to flourish with an NFL team, the Philadelphia Eagles, David. I think this is perfect, actually, for the Eagles and for Jalen Hurts.
Well, I think y'all covered Jalen Hurts, the player, and you covered the situation that he's going to be going into. I think even more importantly, too, is Carson Wentz. He is their franchise quarterback. He is a $100 million quarterback. He's also, this is the first season he's played a whole season since his rookie year. He is very, very injury prone. By the way, playoff game, he gets banged up and doesn't finish the game. McCown has to come in and finish the game. So I think you got a guy you know you can trust and do a bunch of different things with, but you also got your backup quarterback for the future with a guy like Carson Wentz that likes to extend plays, take hits. Now you got a guy just in case that you know will always be ready.
So Jalen Hurts' career was spectacular. Started at Alabama, almost led them as they started his freshman year to the national championship. Lost in the last second to Deshaun Watson and Clemson. You see how it all unfolded. Led the comeback in 2018 and then was a Heisman runner-up after transferring to Oklahoma. Kirk, what about some other storylines from the first couple of days of the draft?
Well, I mean, we kind of kidded about it after day one, the SEC flexing its muscles with 15, and then it just continued yesterday. I think we got all the way up to 40 in the first 3 rounds. Just a remarkable example of the depth in that conference, the individual talent. You know, we get accused, everybody gets accused of SEC bias. I think this is a classic example year after year of what the NFL evaluates and what they see, and not just the skilled players. It's not just Alabama and LSU, although they have a lot to do with it, but the entire conference. I'm sure they're very, very proud. And then I'll be honest, there are a couple teams. I mean, you go back and think about, we had a lot of draft picks, but off the top of my head, I thought the Ravens had, again, a very consistent draft, which is true to them, it seems like every year. And I thought Les Snead and Sean McVay out at L.A. did an outstanding job of being able to bring in a few players. Cam Akers right away is going to be able to help out. Van Jefferson right away is going to be able to help out. Terrell Lewis taking a chance in a 3rd round and a guy, if he's healthy, can give him speed and twitch off the edge. And Terrell Burgess, a guy who can be that nickel, that star, and do so many different things for you. So I thought the Rams and the Ravens, 2 examples of really taking advantage of these first couple days.
I'll tell you what, Kirk, if I'm playing football, I want to play wide receiver and defensive back. I mean, guys that are getting drafted left and right, you see up the draft boards, man. Just the passing game has become such a big part of taking advantage of defenses now. Oh, you don't have 3 good corners? Well, we got 3 good wide receivers. Oh, you don't have 3 good wide receivers, and we can lock you down. So I think you see the emphasis on defensive backs, on wide receivers now, a passing league, further cementing, more weapons, more fun, more play calling, more scoring, and you're seeing that develop throughout the draft now with all these guys.
I tell you guys what, the highlight for me, because of the circumstances, obviously the draft was held in extraordinary times. We did the virtual draft. But it was something really heartwarming and quite charming about seeing these players, these young men, being able to spend this time, this special moment with their closest family and friends as they were drafted. So I know this is unusual and different, but there was something really special about seeing them in their homes with their loved ones, their closest ones, and their friends that made this very different but special to me. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question about that. We got the Bear, Chris Felica, in a very comfortable position here. Bear, what kind of takeaways did you have the first couple of days in the draft?
Similar to what's been mentioned already, like Kirk hit on the Rams, and the fact that they were able to do that without a first-round pick is pretty amazing. And look, yes, everyone accuses everyone of all this SEC bias, but why? You have like 38% of the players taking